Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Louis Taylor. Welcome if you're new here. I'm a composer and producer based in Bristol. Today we're looking at Fracture Sound's Hemisphere, which is a really interesting cinematic ambient guitar sample library. So I must mention that whilst they're not paying me to make this video, they did send me a copy of this library for free for me to check out and show you guys. So I'm going to jump into it just in a second, but before I do, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, gave the video a thumbs up, and ring that notification bell so that you can stay tuned. But let's jump over to Logic and we'll get set up with the demo that I've got prepared for you guys. So I've got a short little demo here, just kind of demonstrating some of the sounds that are available, and this is kind of just touching the surface really. You can really kind of get in there and mangle with everything, and there's a lot of different parameters, so we'll explore that in a minute. But yeah, I'll just play the demo to start with and see what you think, and then we can delve a little bit deeper into what I've kind of done in the demo to make it sound the way it is, and the different sounds that they're providing us with. So yeah, here's the demo. Hope you enjoyed that little demo. Really fun to write. I actually made a video, funny story, writing it live in an hour, which is what I tried to do, and I did that successfully, literally down to the last second. And then it turns out all the video footage was corrupt, so sadly we won't be able to see that. But here is the demo as it is. So let's still jump in. I'm just going to unfreeze all these tracks because I froze them so that my computer can sort of render everything, but it should be okay. So let's have a little look here. What we've got to start with, I've got this really nice kind of template of sounds here available. And I've got shorts, longs, pads, live guitar, which is just a little thing that I added at the end, and bass. So the bass isn't actually a bass guitar or anything. It's just the sounds in the library which are kind of preset to bassy type sounds, and some of them I've actually pitched down by an octave as well. But to add to that, I've got, like I said, all of these shorts. So let's start at the top. We've got these crystal plucks. So what do these sound like? Let's have a little listen. Really nice, as you can hear. So this is what the library looks like. It's a really nice UI, clearly very well designed. And up here you can see there's a bunch of different presets. We've got basic, atmospheric, lo-fi, pads, and textures. And we've got a bunch of different ones in each one, so you can go through them and go crazy and have fun. But basically, you've got all of these different parameters. Color is kind of what I've seen, it's kind of like a bit of darkness or a bit of lightness, if that makes sense, brightness, I should say. You've got transient emphasis, which is basically how much attack is on the sound, so you can basically have almost no attacks. It's just like whoop, or you can have bum, and I can just demo that for you now rather than try and sing it like an idiot. That's like pretty transient based. If I do the opposite of that, so you see the difference. It turns into more of a pad instrument. So that's that. One of the really cool features about this that I want to go into is atmosphere intensity, and that's kind of what makes up the whole really cool sound of this. So you've got all these different atmospheres, and they're all kind of different little algorithms, like I guess, of like how they're manipulating the raw signal. It's a bit like mic signals, really, but for you're kind of bringing in and out of the mix the different sounds that they're giving you. So for example, this kinesis one here, if I just mute all the others, it's like a granular type sound. Really, really nice. And then you have the raw sound here, which just sounds like this. Now, obviously, there's a lot of reverb on that, and I've got a few little effects that I'm bussing into this here too. But mainly, that's kind of what the sound is like. So you've also got this guitar tone, which is where the crystal name comes from up here. And you can change all of these, and they're really cool. And so you can really, the presets are just there to guide you, but you can really go in there and create your own sounds out of this. It's just one of the reasons I love it so much. And like I said, I've only scratched the surface really with this. But it's definitely worth having a look at. So yeah, we've got all these different guitar tones, so I'll go through them all. We've got the atmospheres, which I'll put back on. And you've got reverb, which has a little bit of control. You can change the room, you can change the size of the room, you can fade it in, which is really cool actually. So check this out. If I just turn off all the buses here, this is the fade in reverb, which is really nice. It starts off like dry and then fades in. If I turn that off, here's the difference. Clearly already there, and that's a really nice little feature actually that they've added, and I must admit I do like that. So then you've got the echo, and you can change the time of the echo, which is cool, and you can change the type between tape and modern, and add a little bit of damping, saturation and feedback. So pretty basic echo, but it's a really nice echo. I must admit I didn't feel the need to add any extra ones on certain presets here. They sound really cool. Lo-fi is a really interesting one. So what it does is essentially adds like a kind of wet signal for this lo-fi sound, which you can really kind of manipulate yourself, and you can change all these different speakers. So for example here, it's on small speaker as it is at the moment, but if I change it from small speaker to car radio, you can really hear the difference. And then we can go telephone box, horn, portable cassette, why not? So you get the gist. It was already on small speaker in this preset, so you can just kind of keep it at that. Then the next really cool part of this again is fret noise, and this you'll hear it a little bit. That little, in the background there. Those little whistles, those little noises you get on the fret, really nice little details. And you can increase the chance that happens. You can increase the wetness of it. And if you put it onto manual, you can basically do a little bit more control over the key switching of that. But there's not really much point. It depends what you kind of want out of it. But again, the really, really cool thing about this is how much control you have over the library. You also have a little bit of control in the settings where you basically, other than having a little bit of credits here, you can just change a little bit to your own liking, basically. And that's kind of it. It's really cool. It's very nicely laid out, very user-friendly, and there's loads of great sounds. So let's just dive into a few more. Clean harmonics. Now these are really cool because guitar harmonics are kind of hard to come by in sample libraries. There's a few in Spitfire Labs and things, but I really like that they're in this library. That's a good feature. They're very atmospheric, and I actually use them quite a lot in my writing. So here's what they sound like. Now, obviously, you can probably tell that's got a lot of effects on it. I've got faces going on there, which is making it really kind of cool and stereo and atmospheric by itself. I've got reverb. I've got another reverb, which is based off a delay. If I turn all that off, go into here, get rid of the reverb, get rid of the echo, this is what it sounds like. With the atmosphere, you can hear there now. So there you go. That's that basically. I'm a big reverb person personally, so I quite like adding bits and bobs of it. So yeah, that's the clean harmonics sounding really, really cool. Distant echoes I haven't actually used in this one, so I'm going to actually delete that. But I may as well show you what it sounds like. So this is one of the other presets. Really nice and atmospheric. All of these are relatively similar at the moment. And then you've got this one I really like, actually. So I've got a nice delay on this. I think it's actually just from the echo on here. So I've got this little figuration on the guitar just going bum, 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 you know, rhythmically. And then it adds a lot of dotted rhythms to it, which I really like. Very idiomatic for the guitar and the harmonic kind of sound there. Very Ben Howard-y. Really like that. And then Nightfall, what's this one? Really, really cool. So I've kind of coupled these two. Just to give it a bit more atmosphere, so together. So whoopsie, not good when that happens. So yeah, that's kind of that basically. Moving from the shores. This is kind of where it gets juicy. The pads and the bass, which are kind of the basses I'm using are pads really, mostly. So let's have a little look. We've got this really cool one here called Dodgy Cable, which is basically like if you turn it up, you can hear that it's got that sound. But oops, let me see how am I using it. I'll just play you this. I'm basically just using that for a little bit of emphasis on those notes there, so you can kind of hear. Because as it builds, I wanted to, you know, add to the atmospheric sound with a little bit of actual rhythmic emphasis, which is kind of really nice that it has both of those features in this library. So again, a few other notable patches. Afterglow. Really nice, very warm, and what started the whole thing was I just played some chords on Distant Galaxies, which is a really, really nice patch. I've basically done nothing to this. So good. It's just beautiful, really. So yeah, and then to add a little bit of extra detail onto that, there's this really cool patch I like called synapse, which kind of sounds as it sounds. And all things firing off. Little granules of sound firing around, which I really like. And again, done nothing to this. This is just part of the preset. Guitar tone crystal, lots of atmosphere happening, lots of echo, lots of reverb, lots of colour. There you go. Now, where the composition starts to get really, really juicy is kind of around here. So I've kind of gone back to this original chord progression, and I've started to add some bass now, proper bass. So what we've got is these chords. What I actually started with was the bass, so I'll go down to that. It's called Beefy Bass LFO, but it's actually just called Beefy. And what I've done is I've transposed it down an octave, so it sounds like this, without any effects on it. It sounds like this. As you can hear, which is really nice. Now, what I've done here is I've added the EQ is not that relevant, so I won't bother going into that. I've just basically boosted it, so it's a little bit more of the high end I wanted in. But I've used Logic's stock Fat Effects plugin, which is actually really good. It's got a lot of cool little presets in there for things like rhythmic emphasis. And it's called Massive Wobbly. And what it does is that it's adding a little bit of distortion, quite a bit of distortion actually, and LFO, which is kind of adding that rhythm, a bit of a filter, it's enhancing the bass, it's making it a lot more fatter, and it comes with this really cool sound. And I wanted this rhythmic sound, so here you go. So obviously really, really cool. Again, comes in here. Now what I've done in this, I've actually throughout this one, I've increased the atmospheres a little bit as it goes through, but I've also added some EQ as a filter basically that adds to the build basically, so you can hear it cutting off that. You got the rhythm, but it's cutting off that high end, and as you get to this point, really, really fat and cool. And I love that about that you can just take this library and mangle the absolute living daylights out of it, and then it's just that amazing unearthly bass sound, which is pretty much illegal. And then you've got this really, really cool celestial orchestra, which is really nice, and it's got a similar sort of effect on from Fat Effects, it's called Distorted Rhythm, and it's just some little harmonies in there, but so in the mix. So as you can tell, really, really cool stuff. And there's a lot to unpack in this library, but overall it's got an amazing kind of versatility to it. You can do a lot of stuff with it. You can create atmospheric stuff. You don't even need to use it for atmospheres. You can just use the cool guitar sounds for loads of different tracks that you might be writing, even just for singer-songwriters. It's really great. But for you know, really cool ambient soundtracks and stuff that you might be writing, it's perfect for that. So I definitely recommend it. They definitely haven't paid me to say that. I genuinely recommend this. But I must thank them for giving me a copy of this for free. I'm definitely going to make use of this. I love it, and that's the end of the video. So thanks so much for staying to the end. I really hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm happy to do a more detailed breakdown of this library if you'd like a little bit more of that. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up if you thought you liked it or not, no worries, and leave a comment what you thought, ding that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.